Hello there, and welcome to March's Tea Tasting Club. So, I'm Shona from Bird and Blend Tea Company, and this month I'm going to show you some delicious flavours of tea from 3 subscription boxes that we send out to people. So, there's 3 different boxes. One is the Flavour Box or the Flavour Explorer, and the second one is our Gourmet Tea Selection, and the third one is our Caffeine Free Box. So let's start off with the Flavour Explorer. So this box is for people who really like to try something a bit different. We've got in this month, we have our cream egg tea, which is obviously an Easter tea. And then we have our hot cross buns caffeinated tea and Vicky's sponge cake, which is one of my favourites. So I'm really excited to show you this. And this is actually the first tea I tried that was a slightly different blend. I was more of a traditional Earl Grey drinker before I started for the company, and I found this one was a really good way to introduce myself to teas that were a little bit different. So this one is Vicky's sponge cake, and it does have a cakey feel. So if there's some days when you're feeling like you want a slice of cake but you want to fake it, I have a cup of this tea with some coconut milk, and I find that really is delicious. So let's give it a whirl. We're going to try having a cup of this tea. So it's just 1 perfect teaspoon in my Brudini. I've got my water, which is over here. So this is being brewed at 100 degrees, so boiling water, normal black tea. And in there is the raspberry leaf, raspberries and coconut. So all the things you kind of, well, maybe the raspberry leaf you don't think of when you think of a Vicky sponge cake, Victoria sponge cake. But the raspberries and the coconut is often in there, so it's kind of very tasty. So it's in there now brewing. Let me set my timer and wait for it to brew. We have the hot cross bun tea. And obviously this is traditionally for Easter. It's one of my favourites as well, but this year we've done something different. We've actually created a caffeine-free option. So there is the hot cross buns with black tea and rooibos, and there's the caffeine-free, which is just rooibos, and we'll be tasting that in a minute. But anyway, we're ready to brew, so let's try it. So I'm going to put the Brudini over my glass mug, and you can see it come through. So this is delicious, this tea. So this is a Sri Lankan black tea, and it has, as I said, it's got the raspberries and the raspberry leaf in it and a bit of coconut. Okay, so with this tea, I've chosen coconut milk to go with this tea. I find that that really brings out the taste of the coconut which is in the tea. Quite often though, I will choose a milk depending on what tea I've got. So, you know, if there's, I don't know, if I'm having a tea with some almonds in it, then I'll possibly have an almond milk, or I'll try something else. So I'm going to have a little taste. That's really, really good. So yeah, it's very nice. It's got the, you can definitely taste the raspberry in there. So it's got that little fruity element, but it's also got the coconut in there, elevated by the milk. And yeah, it's got a cakey taste. I'm really enjoying this one. And it really is one of those ones you have on an afternoon, sort of 3 o'clock. It's like Vicky sponge cake time. Moving on now to our gourmet tea tasting box. This box is specifically designed for people who like a traditional tea. So this month we've got a delicious Lady Lavender tea, which is an Earl Grey base with lavender. And also the Builder's Breakfast Brew, which is a stronger black tea, really good for anyone who likes a kind of Yorkshire tea, that sort of person. They will love that. But we're going to try my favorite tea, and I have this every morning, and that is not a lie. So this is the digester. Now, I do get the occasional tummy issue, and I find that this is great. And if I'm in a hurry in the morning, I'll just have 1 cup. But some mornings I'll get maybe 2, maybe 3 cups out of it. So I've put a perfect teaspoon in our blend, in our infuser. And I'm going to pour on 80-degree water. So this is an oolong base. It also has pu'er in there, as well as fennel and orange. So let's pop that in and put the timer on for 3 minutes. It's delicious. And there is something really good. I always have this black. I never have it with anything other than hot water. So in the morning, I will make one of those up and I will drink that. And sometimes I'll put it in my keep cup and then make another cup and take it with me when I go into work. So the good thing about oolongs is that you can brew them up to 7 times. In this case, I do usually brew it at least twice every morning. And we also have the pu'er in here, which is a traditional fermented tea. So it's anything fermented is really good for tummies. And this one is a particularly nice blend. So I love it. It has the orange in there as well. And so I'm going to take it out of here, and then I'm going to keep my infuser like this. I'm going to pop him on the drip tray here, which is also the lid, doubles up, and I'm going to leave it because once I've drunk this, I may well have another cup. So shall we try it? This is the digester. That's really, really good. So what's lovely about this one is it's got a little bit of a sort of savoury element to it. It's not sweet in any way, but it has got the orange in there, and I can definitely taste the fennel, slightly licorice tones there, but really, really delicious. And I'm a bit of an addict, so yeah, I'm going to carry on drinking that one. So let's move on now to the last box for March, which is our caffeine-free box. And I'm very excited about this one because, as I mentioned before, we have hot cross buns in a caffeine-free form. So as a reminder, if you like it, you're going to have to get it on our secret website. So, but for you subscription members, you will be getting this one in your box. You'll also be getting lemon and ginger, which is a delicious tea, and rhubarb and custard, a real favourite. There we go. So let's try this out, and I'm really excited to try this. So we're going to put 1 teaspoon in here. Like all the other teas that I've shown you, apart from digester, this is a 4-minute brew time. So I'm going to start the timer and put my hot water straight from the kettle, boiling water in there, and then leave that to brew for 4 minutes. So inside the hot cross bun, the caffeine one has some black tea in there as well. This one has no caffeine in there, and it's a cinnamon, dandelion, and lemon and orange peel in there. So just like a real hot cross bun. So the orange should come through really nicely. So I'm really curious to see how this works. So today I'm going to try this with oat milk. You could have it with dairy milk. I'm sure that would be delicious. So we get the Brudini over here and we pour it straight in like that. Look how gorgeous that is. It's so red. That's the red bush. So rooibos, as we know, is South African, and rooibos is the translation of red bush. So you can see how red it is. And it's a different plant altogether from the usual traditional tea, which is a Camellia sinensis, which is the black teas, and the oolongs. So let's get some milk and try it with some oat milk. So I think this is good. I'm really, really excited to try this because I do love the original hot cross bun, but we all like to have a drink just at the end of the night before bed, and I think this would be a really nice one to take to bed with a hot cross bun, maybe. Let's try it. That's really, really good. Oh, that's really nice. Yeah, they've managed to get that smoky flavour. That's incredible. So yeah, so it's got that like toasted tea cake flavour there, and the dandelion root and the orange peel is working well with the rooibos. So I really hope you enjoyed this month's teas. Join us again in April for next month's tea club, and if you've got any comments to make about the flavours, give us a follow on socials. I look forward to hearing those comments. See you next month.